Hey you guys, I'm gonna be here doing a Marauders gun tier list. I just got my setup done. I thought I'd go ahead and do this. A lot of people ask me what guns are good, what guns are viable, and I think most of these guns are viable. Most of these weapons are viable. But yeah, let's just get straight into it. The Luger is the starting pistol. Obviously, I don't think it can be like S tier, obviously. D tier in terms of how all these weapons are. I mean, I would pretty much rather have most things over it. It's semi-automatic. It's got 9 mil. It's not too high damage, but if you spam a few body shots and land a lucky headshot, you can definitely take out an armored player. It's definitely not a bad op, even if it's in D tier. Mauser is a 10mm weapon. It can go fully automatic, which is why I like this gun a lot. It's really good for budget runs, especially if you have that thing in full auto and if you can control that recoil. I would actually put this in like B tier, like high B tier. Another gun that was recently changed with this past update was the Scorpion. It's 32 ACP, and you can put drum mags on it. It's got some pretty dope attachments you could put on it. Same with the Mauser. The Mauser can have a stock on it and some other attachments like a suppressor. The Scorpion can also have some attachments. Can get a drum mag and a suppressor and an but I'm gonna go ahead and put this in A tier because this is a shredder, bro. Especially with the past update, for sure. The Webley is also pretty high power, I would say. I've won a lot of decent fights on raider mode using this. I would never say that I'd bring it into a raid, so for that reason I'll probably put it in probably D tier. Actually, no, I'll move it up to C tier because there are definitely worse pistols than the Webley. Next off, the Welrod. It's internally suppressed, so it's kind of hard to gauge where you're getting shot from if you're being shot with this pistol. It's got really high damage, really good firepower on this. It is a bolt action, which might turn a lot of people off with this, but I think it's honestly better than the Webley if you can hit your shots with it. So I'm gonna put that above there. People might get mad at me for that, but next we have the 911 Stamp and the 911 Government. I think the Government has slightly higher damage. I believe so. I'll probably put a statistic up if I can remember that. I would also say that these are probably B. No, I've put them in C tier, just above the Welrod and the Webley. The flare pistol, there's no reason to use this. I'm not even 100% sure if you can get damage with this. If so, it's very little. I've actually tried to kill someone with a flare pistol before. That's probably the worst gun in the game. Moving on, the sawed-off recently just got a buff. I would put this pretty high. Probably put it behind the Mauser and B tier, or maybe even the top of C tier, but I'm going to lean towards B tier for now. We can change it later if we need to. The Thumper, believe it or not, is better than the China Lake, at least last time I checked. I'm going to put this all the way in S+. You are a dick if you fucking use that. But, yeah, it's pretty damn powerful. You can get 2 to 3 kills off of just radius damage alone. If you can just beat them up a little bit, get them low. Pretty goated too. I would put this in A tier, just above, actually just below the Scorpion. Next, the Mosin-Obrez is definitely better than the Welrod and the Government pistols, but I mean, the chances of me bringing this in raid are kind of slim, especially if I can afford like an SVT or something along those lines. I don't know. It's not terrible, but again, I would take all of these pistols before it. All right, now moving on from pistols, we have shields. These are cool because they block damage just like armor would. It can be on your back, or you can have it in the front, like a R6 player, I guess. I don't know. I don't play that game. The small shield, obviously gonna provide worse protection for you. It's not terrible. It'll protect like the main area of your back, so they have to hit you in like the lower back or like your arms, legs, helmet. But yeah, I would put this probably, I would never not like this, but I'm gonna put this in C tier. It's pretty average in terms of how these things are. I don't know if I would swap out like a weapon slot for a small shield. But moving on to the heavy shield, this goes up to S tier for sure. Whenever I get this, it's going on my back. I don't know why, but it makes me feel a lot safer and more confident. You're also like completely covered from the back. If you get shot from there, you'll have some protection. Obviously, it's not bulletproof. I mean, you know, it is for a little bit, but if it breaks, then you're in for a world of hurt. It's also pretty viable to you know, crouch in a corner, I guess, with one of those heavy shields, because it's just so big. They would just need to wait you out or get a nade, but honestly, I don't see a whole lot of people like crab walking across the map with these heavy shields, and they're pretty easy to deal with. It's really just useful for having that thing on your back, which actually I'll probably move to A tier for that. The Uzi, pretty damn good 9mm weapon. Dare I say the best 9mm weapon? You could get a suppressor, extended mag, stock for this, so it's really customizable, I guess. I always pretty much take this thing kitted in if I'm running decently low on meds, or on funds. So I'm gonna put that in A tier. Definitely a great weapon. Actually, I'm gonna put in A tier, just below the heavy shield. Moving on to the Sten. This is like one of the first weapons you have in Marauders. It's not bad by any means. I still use it from time to time, but yeah, I think I'd rather have a Mauser or a sawed-offs for some reason than this weapon. So I'm gonna put it in probably C tier, just below the small shield, honestly. Moving on, we got the Custom 49. This gun sucks. I hate this gun. It's a 3-round burst and it's 32 ACP. Maybe I just haven't used it enough, but I don't know. This gun sucks for me, and I'm gonna put it below. the Welrod, bro. I really don't like that gun. And the Viper, I'm gonna put that in D tier below the Luger. I also don't like this weapon at all. It's hip fire only, or well, it's kind of like the MG in the sense that you can't aim down sights. So you're kind of like doing guesswork with your shots. I don't like that, so that's why I put that low. What is this? The M45K? I don't really use this weapon, but it's definitely better than the Sten. It's a little harder to find, I guess. So take that into consideration. The MP40 definitely goes above the Uzi. That's going in A tier. I'm actually going to move this heavy shield up to S+. Anyways, moving on, PPSH. This is an S tier weapon. This thing shreds. You can put a drum mag on this. I don't think there's any other attachments for this gun, but dude, you can shred lobbies with this gun. And I've done it a few times, but definitely S tier for that weapon. Moving on, we have the Mk2. The Mk2 is pretty good, but I wouldn't say it's better than like the MP40 or the Uzi, bro. Even if it's 45, this thing is pretty damn good. I would actually put it a little bit below the Scorpion. But anyways, going on to the next one, I've got the Mat 49, just the regular version. And this gun actually slaps too. I would put this below. I'm gonna put this below the MP40. That's just how I feel about it. The hip fire with this gun's crazy. You could get a stock with it. There's suppressors now for it. I don't know. I love this gun, but I always pretty much use it. Anyways, going on to the DeIsle Carbine. This is a bolt action suppressed gun. It's kind of like the Welrod, I guess. I barely use this thing, but it's more powerful than the Welrod, so I mean, it's got to be above there. I would probably put it below the Mosin, below those as well. Actually, just before the Welrod. It's okay. It's got good damage. If you can land your shots with it, it's just like the Welrod. Competitively, I wouldn't take it in. Going on to the Para, I love this gun as well. I guess 32 ACP guns are some of my favorites because it seems like a lot of them are ranked highly. But this one is definitely good. It's good for long range. It's good for short range. You can get good attachments for it, a compensator, more than I'm sure I'm forgetting. I would definitely put this even above. No, I can't, dude. With the drum mag, I've got to put it right there. Still a really good weapon. Obviously, it's an A tier. I would actually move the Mauser and the SP to B tier. That looks a lot better in my opinion. Going on to the M50 Reising. Not a bad weapon by any means. It's sort of like the Para, but you can put it in automatic mode, I don't know if there's any attachments for this weapon. I haven't seen any. No, there's definitely attachments for the M50. I barely use this weapon, to be honest. It's okay damage-wise. If you pick it up like off a dead body, that's the only reason I'm using it. I gotta put it, I'm putting it below all of those. No, putting it below the Sten, because I would honestly use a Sten over this. Even if it's got good damage. It's a little bit better than the Sten. Definitely not better than the M45. Not in my opinion, at least. The Mauser Special, fire gun, bro. Fire. I believe it's suppressed. It's got the grip on it. It's got really good recoil. I use this gun a ton. Whenever I get this, I'm really excited because I know I'll probably get a kill with it. Probably put that into S tier, bro. Right behind the PPSH. Next off, we have the Terminator. It's a one-shot shotgun, so a high-risk, high-reward shotgun. It's not too expensive. I don't know if you could buy it, but you could sell it for like 2,000 probably. It's not bad to take in. You can get it in Raider modes. I would honestly only use it in the Raider mode. Some of my friends like to use this weapon. It's not honestly for me. I just feel like every time I use this weapon, it's just a game of like whack-a-mole almost. Like where you're just shooting, you run back, reload, shoot again, reload. It's like a musket. I don't know. I just don't like it. Obviously, it's not just like a musket. But most of these guns I would take over it. I'd probably put it in D tier. Not a big fan of this. Let's go on to the Thompson. You can get some good attachments for this. You could get a stock suppressor and a drum mag. So yeah, I actually don't know if you could get the suppressor. I think that's only for the next weapon. But the Thompson is definitely better than I'm gonna go put it at the top of A tier. Because don't think, nah, it deserves S tier, but it's nowhere as good as the Thompson Special, which has a suppressor and yeah, it's, I don't know, it's really expensive, but if you can get this from the trader and the attachments, that's a great loadout, dude. I'm putting that above the PPSH, so that just shows you. The trench gun, after the buff, is really good. If you aren't using this, you're missing out on a bunch of kills. Putting this into, my pride hurts. No, I gotta put this in A tier. Just because if I put it in S tier, you look like a dick if you use the trench gun or shotguns for some reason. I've got to put this lower in A tier actually because there are more shotguns to go through. The Liberator is a 4-shot shotgun. I don't know, bro. I really like this gun as well. Would I put it above there? Yes, especially after the buff, you can get a heavy Liberator, which has a little face shield, which just makes it that much harder to kill you. Even if you have it at your hip, it's still gonna block. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna put that. That's probably in the S tier at this point. Jackhammer. I've only used it so many times, but it's really big on space. It's a good gun, so I'll probably put it like right there. I mean, it's a good gun. You can one-shot a lot of people with it. It's a high mag capacity, so it's a decent option. I don't know. Moving on, the Krasa. I don't like the Krasa. I know a lot of people that do. A lot of streamers like the Krasa. If you could get it kitted out, I've heard it's a lot better. But for me, I'm probably gonna have to put it in C tier. I can't in good conscience put this above or below any of these guns, but it's at the top of C tier. I would say it's not something I'd search out for, but I mean, if I had any of these guns below it, I'd probably switch it out. Next, the L1A1. Really high damage, really good recoil, really easy to control. It's got a 20 round mag though, and that's the only thing that I don't like about it. I think there's an extended mag you can get. I think that's what holds this gun back. I'm gonna put it obviously above the MP40 and the MAT49. Moving on to the next one, the K1 Assault. It's a 5.56 gun. You can get some decent attachments with it, but yeah, I mean it's okay as far as these higher tier guns go. I would actually say that it's better than the next gun. Probably put it in low high B tier pro. And then the M16. It's a 3-round burst, but I'm pretty sure you can switch it between automatic or well semi-auto and 3-round. It's got a 20-round mag again, so I don't know. I also wouldn't like it. Gonna put that below the K1 and honestly even below the MAC-10. No, bro. Honestly below the Krasa, going in C tier. I don't like that gun. Anyways, moving on to the dart weapons. We have the SVU Dart Rifle. This gun's pretty good. It's only got 10 bullets though, so if you can control it, it's more like a long range thing. I definitely wouldn't use this for CQB at all, but it's definitely A tier. definitely A tier. It's got some of the best armor penetration in the game. It's got really good damage, really good recoil. It's got to go above the Uzi and below the Jackhammer. The APS though, definitely S+. That's a really good weapon if you can get your hands on that. Nice. Anyways, going on to the bar. This is a really, really, really good gun. I see a lot of high level players playing it. You could get a 40 round mag for it, compensator and all. I would definitely put this in S+ tier. The Stoner, I think, is another S tier weapon. And then, I mean, this is a 5.56 gun. It's pretty new to the game, but I like it. It's a good, I think it's a second to the STG. The STG is probably the best assault rifle in the game. Probably put it S+. I love using STG when I have it. I feel invincible. The Bren post-patch, they reworked some of how the Bren works, the sights and the attachments for it. Would I use it though? Not really. Probably put it even below, probably below this, the K1, and go to the DP. Really nostalgic gun for a lot of people. Probably below, just above the Bren, to be honest. I think that probably has a little bit better hip fire, so it's a little bit better for close quarters. But I see myself dying a lot with those two weapons just because I tried ADS. And maybe you could say don't do that, but I mean, that's why they're there. The EM2, I'm gonna be honest. Where should I put this? I'm gonna put it in A tier, I think. Probably below this SVU. No, just above the SVU, honestly, where I accidentally put it. 5.56 gun, bullpup rifle, pretty fun to use. I can't say much more about it. The MG42, like I said earlier, you can't hip fire with this gun, or well, you can't aim down sights with this gun. You have to hip fire. I don't like using this weapon much, but it is very powerful. It's got to go in A tier, but it's not better than, I wouldn't use them over this weapon, like these weapons. Probably put that there, and I don't really, I guess I'll put it just, where should I put this? Probably at the top of C tier. I don't really like using that, and I like the face shield much less, just because it takes up a big area of your screen. Another one that I don't like is the heavy Thompson. The face shield on this is pretty much unusable, in my opinion. You've got to hip fire with it, and even then, it's no bueno. In my opinion, I'm leaning towards D tier, because I would have such an easier time using pretty much any other gun. The MAS, it's okay. I haven't used it too much, if I'm being honest. I haven't really felt the need to. Just kind of feels like an SVT. I would probably say feels like, I mean, I don't know for sure, but in my opinion, it's the worst version of the SVT. Probably put it top of C tier. Yeah, it's looking that way. Even above the, that's a better order. Moving on, we have the Johnson. It's a 300 gun. Sort of like the SVT, but I don't think it's as good either. I don't think there's any attachments you can get for it or anything. Probably gonna put this actually below the MG. The SVT is definitely an S+ tier weapon. You can get drum mags for it, sights. I didn't mention that for the M16, but you can also get a sight for that as well. The SVT is one of the better guns in the game, I think. I always pretty much use this weapon. It's one of the guns I use the most. The Flamethrower is okay. I would probably put it, I'm gonna put it just above the Mk2. I wouldn't, you know, I mean, it's cool. It's used for a mission later on. You have to get flamethrower kills, but besides that, I don't really use it too much. It's pretty rare. The China Lake is actually worse than the Mini Thumper, believe it or not. Pretty sure they haven't changed that. Man, I probably put it bottom of A tier, which isn't a bad thing at all. It's still a really good gun. But the AP mine are pretty easy to tell where they are. Probably put this there in D tier. Incendiaries are not too powerful in my opinion. They're pretty cool. The firebombs, I mean. I can't like consciously put that above many weapons. I would honestly put that like right there. The smoke is kind of useful if you want to reposition. I would actually say it's more useful than the AP mine. I'm actually going to move the AP mine back here. The sticky bomb, definitely better than the smoke grenade. I like this one because I like to pretend like I'm interviewing someone in game, and then I say, here, you can hold the remote or something like that and blow them up. But I haven't really gotten too used to the nades, so the throwing's kind of janky for me. I'll probably get used to it over time though. The impact bomb, like it explodes as soon as it hits something. I don't know. I don't really use it. A little worse than the firebomb in my opinion. The flash is really useful. I'm gonna put that at the top there. And then the scrap bomb is, yeah, guys, that looks like it's gonna do it. I'm not gonna rank all the melees and stuff like that. The only thing of note is really that the machete is used for a mission later on. So if you guys enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like. I'll see you guys in the next one.